Guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry for my bumminess. It's just that today is like a kind of relaxed day, kind of type of day where I just want to get in front of the camera and talk to you guys. I'm gonna talk about how I made my decision on what college to go to and the process. In foods and nutrition, I did have the opportunity to go into a nursing program, but I denied it because, sorry, my dogs are howling. Okay, they're done. So I did want to go into nursing, but the thing is, in high school I already got certified as a MA, so I do have certification to work in a hospital if I wanted to as a MA. But since things are going hectic right now, I'm gonna just leave that aside till maybe in the future I will. But yeah, I say but too much, god damn it. I will be using that bachelor to go into medical school because I want to become an OBGYN. If you don't know what an OBGYN, look it up. It's such a beautiful experience. I love working with babies, love working with women in need. There's a lot of women out there in need that don't have a lot of medical care, etc. And so I want to be one of those doctors who can help all those beautiful women out there. Great health programs. Like, all those schools were amazing to me. I picked two schools, two that were far away from home and two that were kind of close to home for my Cal States. For my UCs, I kind of just like spread them everywhere. When I first applied for college in senior year, the beginning of senior year, I realized that I was more into Cal States than UCs. Only because of the money wise, financially wise, but I would have loved to go to a UC. I also applied to UC Riverside, now that I remember. If it comes to exceptions and denials, I did get denied to some of my schools. My GPA, my grand GPA overall was at 3.6, so it wasn't that great and it wasn't that bad. So I got UCs. I did get denied to Santa Barbara and Irvine. Irvine was my dream school, guys. And there was one more. I know I got on UC Riverside. And then for my Cal States, I got accepted to all my Cal States. So it was, now that I knew of my acceptances and denials, I knew my choices that I had. My choices had narrowed down to those schools. For privates, I wanted to go to New Mexico because they have a great medical program. They have even a own hospital on campus, guys. That is amazing. But I was just too scared. So then I thought about it and I was like, no, you know what? I really don't want to go into I don't want to go to New Mexico. I just don't like the weather out there. It wasn't meant for me. So I took that option away. So that's how I narrowed down my options. Like, literally looked into pros and cons. It's pretty hard to make a decision at the end of the day. What else? Also, I narrowed down to my Cal States. My Cal States were the only 4 decisions that I had to make. I had 4 decisions, which was Fresno, Chico, San Marcos, San Bernardino. So let me tell you why I didn't pick Chico. I didn't pick Chico because they didn't give me financial aid till you accept or deny their tuition if you want to go there. So I was like, I need to know how much money it costs. I need to know everything, like, because you're gonna move out there, so you're gonna need to know your expenses. And mind you, expenses means literally everything: where you're gonna live, your food, supplies, utensils, everything. Like, you need to think of that. That's one thing you pay attention to. Your financial aid is the main important thing. So number one tip, top number one, make sure you get your FAFSA done. When it's like, when your teacher says go get your FAFSA done, you go get your FAFSA done. Also, so Fresno was out the way. It was down to Chico, San Bernardino, and San Marcos. Those were my 3 top choices. All of them offered me great money. I'm not gonna lie. Um, it was just the way I thought of it was like, do you see yourself? I go to the mirror. I literally went to the mirror and I looked at the mirror and I was like, do you see yourself? Do you see yourself in that time deciding? I was one of the last students to make my final decision, and mind you, I had a deadline. You have a deadline when you apply to college. You have a deadline of where you want to go. So it was like time stressing. I would ask for advice, and basically everybody would be like, just flip a coin. If you having decision deciding where you want to go, it's because you don't care. Like, it's because you at least know that you want to go to those two schools, because you narrowed it down to those two schools. So what happened was, okay, I was like, let me try to flip a coin. So I would flip a coin, and then let's say, oh, it came out to be San Marcos. But then I was like, I'm not sure I want to be at San Marcos. So it would be the same thing over and over and over. So one thing I did look into when deciding was Chico. I started off with Chico. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Chico, but then if I go to Chico with the full ride, like, am I gonna be happy with like not being close to home? Like, I get homesick really fast, but I was like, I'm willing to take the challenge. But honestly, guys, don't do what I did. I basically stayed in the local because I was just like, I need to be around my mom. I need to be around my sisters. My brother didn't graduate high school, and he didn't go to college. So I am the first, and I feel like I had to set the example for my girls, which is my two little sisters, my 14-year-old and my 6-year-old. So I was like, I need to stay local. A lot of things have been going on recently. My dad did pass away a year ago. My grandpa did pass away about 5 to 6 months ago. So it's recent stuff that happens, and you just realize, like, you can't just, well, me personally, I can't just like go away from home knowing that I'm gonna get homesick, knowing that I'm not comfortable, knowing that my mission here was not done. So I eliminated Chico from my list. And I decided that it was between San Marcos and San Bernardino. So at the end of the day, I was like, okay, everybody from my class is wanting to go to San Marcos. Do I want to go to San Marcos? San Marcos is local. San Marcos is beautiful. The weather, I loved it. And then I was like, do I want to go to San Bernardino? There's hardly anyone going to San Bernardino. It's a beautiful campus, beautiful weather, close to home, not too far, not too close. Like, I was looking at both, and they were just both so similar. And I just thought, I was like, damn, like, this whole thing about making a decision is driving me nuts. So what I did was I talked to my mom, and I asked her, and she had told me, she's like, well, you, at the end of the day, it's where you want to go. It's where you want to create a new path. She's like, you've done everything right. She's like, you graduated school, you got your diploma. She was all like, it's what you want to do. It's where you picture yourself. So, as I said, I looked also into financial aid, because financial aid is the most important thing of your college picking. So I looked, and San Marcos was giving me about, I want to say $100 to $200 more than San Bernardino. But then San Bernardino was offering me a full admissions. I think I just got an email saying that. And my teacher, who I got inspired from, which was my MA instructor, she graduated from San Bernardino. And a lot of people, I basically asked for advice. Like, I did a poll on Instagram. I did ask my closest friends. I was like, damn, like, I'm really sad because my closest friends are legit going to San Marcos, and like, I'm not sure if I want to go there. So I was like 50-50. They were both beautiful campuses. They're both like offering me almost the same thing. So then I realized, I realized that when I started to make a decision, like flipping coins, like, oh, if it's heads it's San Marcos, if it's tails it's San Bernardino, I would always get heads and it'd be San Marcos. And I'm like, but I don't want to go to San Marcos. I literally, the only reason why I wanted to go to San Marcos was because of how close it was and because of how many of my friends were going there. So at the end of the day, I was just like, no, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm not gonna be happy with going there. So I was like, let me just I made, like, I was like, let me just go to San Bernardino. I feel like college is not about choosing who you want to go to school with. It's about choosing your life. So I was like, San Bernardino, it was just calling my name. Like, I went to the reviews, I did research on them, I did my financial aid research, I laid out a budget sheet. I had I had asked people for advice, as I said. And the how I chose my school was basically because what my heart was telling me deep down. I didn't want to accept it, but deep down your heart will tell you where you want to go. Um, what else? Um, so yeah, when I realized that, I was like, I don't want to go to San Marcos just because of my friends. I was like, I want to go to San Bernardino. I was like, let's do this. And that's how I was like, San Bernardino was offering me good programs. I got accepted into my first and second option of what I applied under. Um, so yeah, that's how I basically picked. I basically picked from my guts. I was like, I see myself in San Bernardino. I see myself living out there. I see myself. I just I saw myself. And before I even like accepted my award to San Bernardino, I went on a campus tour, and I was like, I saw like the cheerleaders, I saw the sports. Like, I was looking at differences that San Marcos and San Bernardino didn't have, and they have a couple differences, a couple pros and cons. And so I ended up picking San Bernardino because of the beautiful staff that they have. When I took a tour there, let me tell you, everybody